There's one comedian that always was trying to get Clint and I to behave. Works for the Mormon church. And we love this guy. We love him a lot. Mr. Rodney B.
I got to follow Mike. That was great. The first time I did stand-up, Clint was on the bill that night. It was down in Orem. And to be honest, it didn't go so well. Michael knows he was there. In fact, I ended up out in the parking lot surrounded by Clint and 4 other comics standing like this. It felt like a gang initiation. They said, "You've got funnier stuff than this. Let's hear it." So I started telling them about the fact I have 13 kids and a bunch are adopted and going on vacation. And finally, Jose, he was the gang leader. He says, "This is funny stuff. We're not laughing because we're comics. But some of this stuff is pretty good." It's like, "Yeah, thanks. I can tell from the lack of any facial expression." Clint and I were pretty good friends. And I think part of that was the fact that he has 3 adopted sisters. And I have a lot of adopted kids. And I was always quick to tell people that I had 10 of my kids were adopted. Because I didn't want them to get the wrong idea. I mean, I live in Utah. I've got 13 children from 6 different women. And if you've got a big family like I do, some things just happen differently. They're just some indicators that people can look at and see that you're a big family. For example, if you've ever had food delivered to your house on a pallet, probably you got a big family. If you've ever had to check your girlfriend against Ancestry.com to make sure you're not dating a relative, that's a sign of a big family. If they wore name tags at your wedding, probably got a big family. And finally, if you've ever been called to the principal's office to discuss a problem with your 5th grader, and you have to ask, which one? It's a sign you come from a big family. Clint and I got to hang out occasionally, something that I fondly remember. One night he called me up and he said, "Hey Rodney, let's go clubbing." Like, "You want to go out dancing?" He said, "Oh no, I don't dance. I seductively jiggle." I was like, "Okay, Clint, I'll go with you." So we ended up at the bar, and the problem was, we got to the bar, we noticed there were a whole lot of gay-looking dudes at this bar. And the one night I went to a bar with Clint turned out to be gay night. I mean, it could happen to anybody, right? You, sir, you've accidentally ended up at gay night. I will say one thing. Clint couldn't dance. Now, the second thing was those guys sure like Skittles. I guess they love to taste the rainbow. That's a Clint joke, and we'll just retire that one now. I also, Clint obviously was a big guy, and he was also hairy. I never realized how hairy he was, but we were at the pool one day. He took his shirt off, and I thought I was at the orangutan exhibit at the Hobo Zoo. Let me tell you, though, he was rocking that Speedo. That's not a Clint joke, and we'll just retire that one. The story I told about that first night was true, and we went out to dinner, the comics, afterwards, and one of them found out that my daughter was at the show. And he said, "Dude, you got to fix me up with your daughter." And I said, "Jose, I'm not going to fix you up with my daughter." He said, "It's because I look Mexican, isn't it?" I said, "Look, I've adopted kids from all over the world. I've got black kids, Asian kids, white kids. A Mexican would complete the set. Besides, I could use a gardener." So he said, it's because I drink and smoke, isn't it? And I said, "Look, her first steady boyfriend was a convicted criminal. Her second boyfriend didn't believe in God, so smoking and drinking is actually an improvement." He said, well, what is it then? I said, it's her mother, really. My wife can't stand the thought of my daughter making the same mistakes that she made, so she just doesn't want her to be with a comic. Besides, if I had any control over who she dated, do you think I would have let her date the rapist and the atheist? And I know what you're thinking, she dated an atheist. Rest in peace.